Hey guys, RanterInShades here, exercising my First Amendment rights vlog style. Now, one of the reasons I use Facebook, apart from connecting and conversing with various friends of mine from various different parts of my life, is to follow various pages for any information that might seem interesting. Such pages I follow include pages for TV shows, YouTubers, certain celebrities, community pages like Metalhead Plebs of the Internet and American Metalheads USA, music news sites like Blabbermouth and Sleaze Rocks, meme pages and other such pages designed for humor, and the most important kind of all, band pages. Band pages to me serve as a source of information about a band's activity. I can view a band's page if I want to find their tour schedule, updates about their next album release, and other such relevant information. Since I first joined Facebook, back when instead of liking something you became a fan of something, remember that? And the page's updates weren't shown in your feed yet, that's always sort of been the purpose of pages. Yeah, I've been on Facebook for that long. This video is concerning the recent Facebook activity of a hardcore post-hardcore band I've liked for a good while, Census Fail, specifically their frontman, Buddy Nielsen. Now, Buddy came out as bisexual not too long ago, and that's going to be something you should probably remember throughout this video. Now, I know I'm late to the party about this, but the whole thing I'm going to be talking about took place last weekend, on October 17th, when Buddy posted a screenshot of someone's comment, where this was, I'm not sure, that said, "Waited all night for Buried Alive and got nothing but some gay rights rant rammed down our throats." Census Fail's post about this read, "Just wanted to hear Buried Alive, got gay rights rants instead. The power of Census Fail." What the comment is referring to is how lately at Census Fail's concerts, Buddy will go on these long-winded LGBTQ-related rants, which takes up a good bit of time in their sets. A couple posts later, Buddy writes, "FYI that we will take time out of every show to talk about LGBTQ issues and women's issues. Don't like it? Don't come." Here's the thing. People go to concerts because they like the band's music and want to see it performed live. That's why I go to concerts. It's also a nice way to get exposure to related music and, of course, to support the bands. You're really going to tell people to not come out to your show no matter how much they like your music and no matter how inclined they feel to support you just because they don't like the LGBTQ rants? Saying, "Don't like, don't come," is very counterproductive in this instance since you're closing your own fans off from what could be a cool live performance. Another thing about the LGBTQ rants is, like I said a little bit ago, they eat into the set time. From what I'm gathering here, and I could be wrong, but this is just what I'm seeing, a significant amount of time in Census Fail's set is dedicated to Buddy going on an LGBTQ rant, rather than play the very music his fans paid money to see performed live. That honestly feels like a major jip, especially considering how Census Fail have great songs in their catalog that I would love to see them play live, that they probably won't play at all, save for some select tunes. I've played a number of shows with Gardens of Acadia, and no matter what kind of a show it is, the set time is always a bitch, because what's being factored in is setup, takedown, as well as sound check. This is why we like to have sets longer than 20 to 30 minutes. Imagine if said minutes were also spent by having one of us go on a rant about something in politics. Do the fans want to hear that? No! They want to see us play some goddamn music, and that's pretty much how these people in Census Fail's audience feel. This isn't me saying there's anything wrong with talking in between songs. Bands do that all the time, and I like when they do that. That was one of the highlights of seeing the Foo Fighters last summer, when Dave Jesus Grohl talked to the audience. But the difference is, Foo Fighters have a longer set time than Census Fail, so Dave can talk longer if he wants to than Buddy Nielsen can. Thus, Buddy going on these rants just ends up sounding like a waste of time. One other thing I want to get out of the way before I continue on with Buddy's Facebook shenanigans is that the problem doesn't lie with the content of Buddy's rants. There's nothing wrong with speaking about LGBTQ issues, and I don't have a problem with the fact that Buddy talks a lot about said issue, despite the fact that it reminds me a lot of a certain attention whore YouTuber I used to know. I can't say I like how loud and in your face it sounds like Buddy is being with this, much like how I don't exactly like that trait in anybody else. But the point is, this video isn't meant to sound anti-gay or anti-LGBTQ at all, nor is it meant to harass. And I don't hate Buddy Nielsen either. The point of this video is just to criticize. Hopefully that's not a problem. Anyway, this has only been part of my problem with Buddy Nielsen. It doesn't end here. The next post he made, which really pissed me off, said, "I so badly want to delete this page, but I know that there are many of you that actually use this to find information about us and communicate with us. It just is harder and harder every day to justify giving so many ignorant people a place to post their garbage. What do you think? If we got rid of it, would you be okay with following us on another social media site, or is there still something useful that Facebook can provide?" What I'm taking away from this post is that Buddy doesn't particularly like what people have to say about his LGBTQ rants. Okay, I can sort of relate, actually. But he's really going to say that the only way to avoid this is to delete the page? That's bullshit! There are two problems I have with this. The first is the fact that this is the burden of being a public figure. I might not be as well known on YouTube, and my band might not be very well known either. But even with as small of a following as I have, I understand that what comes with putting yourself out there and having a following is the fact that there are going to be people that legitimately dislike you or disagree with certain things you say or do. And I knew that the very moment I started this channel. The second problem, which is the bigger problem that I have, relates to what I said at the beginning of this video, how I follow band pages for relevant information about what it is that a band is up to. Buddy deleting Census Fails page not only shows that he's giving in to his detractors, but it's also a big fuck you to people like me who just want to see relevant updates. You're really going to delete this page with 500,000 followers at the expense of people who, like you friggin' said, actually use the page to find information about the band and communicate with you just because people express their displeasure with the LGBTQ rants? Really? But it doesn't end there, oh no. Here's the last post he made that I'm going to share with you, which is essentially a continuation of the previous post. Or do I keep posting and face the arduous task of banning hundreds of people every time I post? So apparently the only other option apart from deleting the page is banning a bunch of people. Wow. I mean, I've had some dark moments on this channel, but never have I thought that those were my only two options in those dark times. Now, if these people Buddy's referring to are really crossing the line, like getting really personal with people or doing something that is legitimately reprehensible, then I can understand wanting to ban them. But if this is just about people voicing their displeasure regarding the LGBTQ rants, then that's honestly sad. I'm not going to be one of these holier-than-thou people who says, blocking's bad, okay? Because there are legitimate reasons to block someone, such as, like I said, if they're getting really personal with you and legitimately harassing you as opposed to harassing you. I've blocked people for those very reasons. The only time I disagree with blocking is if it's over something trivial, or if the person is being constructive and not being a straight-up douchebag, or if it's for no reason at all whatsoever, like that UTF situation back in 2013. Are the people who are criticizing Buddy being straight-up douchebags? It doesn't sound like it. I haven't seen any evidence of people harassing Census Fail. I'm sure it happens because, like I said, that's the burden of being a public figure, but I haven't seen anything even closely resembling legitimate harassment on their page. But in case people decide to come to this video telling me that criticizing Buddy for his LGBTQ rants, taking up a significant amount of time in live sets to go on said rants, or for these Facebook posts is harassment, let's look at the good old definition of harassment. Aggressive pressure or intimidation. And if that isn't enough, let's look at the legal definition of harassment. The act of systematic and or continued unwanted and annoying actions of one party or group, including threats and demands. The purposes may vary, including racial prejudice, personal malice, an attempt to force someone to quit a job or grant sexual favors, apply illegal pressure to collect a bill, or merely gain sadistic pleasure from making someone fearful or anxious. Such activities may be the basics for a lawsuit if due to discrimination based on race or sex, a violation of the statutory limitations on collection agencies, involve revenge by an ex-spouse, or be shown to be a form of blackmail, i.e., I'll stop bothering you if you'll go to bed with me, hoi hoi hoi. The victim may file a petition for a stay-away or restraining order, intended to prevent contact by the offensive party. A systematic pattern of harassment by an employee against another worker may subject the employer to a lawsuit for failure to protect the worker. So unless anything like this is actually happening on Census Fail's page, I refuse to view this as harassment, and thus Buddy doesn't have a good reason to ban people from the page, especially if all they did was say they aren't really big on the LGBTQ rants, which I'll say again, is not anti-gay or anti-LGBTQ. You really need to look at the context before jumping to such a conclusion. Because looking back at that guy from the first post I showed, he didn't sound like he was being bigoted. He sounded like a fan that was annoyed at how it looks like Buddy's LGBTQ rants are more important than his band's music. Just like me. I mean, if LGBTQ rants are really necessary for Buddy's well-being or his mental health, I saw some comments on these posts saying he should create a separate page for him to talk about these things and keep it separate from Census Fail's page. I could not agree more with that. That's pretty much the point of band pages, is to post relevant updates. I've always believed that band pages posts were meant to be either informative about their activity or a way to engage the fans in casual conversations, such as making a post like, my first concert was blank. And funny enough, one of the things that led to GOA's original bassist being fired was his not understanding this. In closing, I still like Census Fail's music, But as for Buddy Nielsen, I don't hate or dislike him, but I lost a lot of respect for him seeing the way he acted on Facebook, and I would really like it if he apologized for basically spitting on his fans in those posts. Other than that, that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching this video, take care, and have a nice day. I'm Shades, and I'll see you next time.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, buddy. Bubble Buddy!
It's also a nice way